You've reached call in Mockery.
I just have to shout from the rooftops. What does a man gain when he sees the tide? Do you have any other any other stuff over there? What's one more? Like Downey?
Yeah.
What? Okay, I have to shout from the rooftops. What does Robert Downey Jr. gain when he? What'd I say?
At the tide.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Colin Mockery.
Hey, everybody.
I'm Joey, and that's Landon over there. We're gonna get down into the ring, and I'm gonna bounce off the side of the ring, and I'm gonna clothesline him, and we're gonna come at you, and guess who's gonna be the winner? You're not gonna know until the end of the round.
Hey, I got clotheslined by a wrestler this weekend.
Okay.
Just don't ask for...
Just make sure next time you buy me dinner first,
That's
okay?
it. That's it.
You can clothesline me. Just buy me dinner first.
We should do like a live show. Yeah. Live show. We should do a live show for all our lawyers. For all our lawyers. Well, let's do it for our lawyers first. They can say, I do declare the show is ready and fit to be shown. And then we do it for all of our loyal simmers.
Yes.
This is a promise we aim to keep to you, our loyal simmers. And first of all, simmer down. Well, I see you going for a little tasty just right off the bat.
Yeah, I think we got to just crack these open right off the bat.
Yeah. We've got a couple liquid deaths here. This is, they said this one has a new tab. It sounds a little different when you crack it open.
Let's see.
Yeah, that was weird. But it's still carbonated.
How do they do that?
And this tastes just like, yeah, I figured. Tastes just like convicted melon.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought mine tasted like pear,
Uh-huh.
so I looked at it. Unpearleavable.
They really got, I know last episode we talked about fake flavors and how they do them right or wrong. Pear is one you can always taste right off the bat.
I think so. It's almost always exactly like pear the fruit.
Mm-hmm. It's very apparent. Or it's like, when, you know when the people say like, oh, she's pear-shaped.
Uh-huh. I'm
like, that's disgusting, you people. You treat a person like a fruit.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. What else?
Well, look, I had something I wanted to bring up to you. You're fired.
That's awesome.
No, of course. I wanted to remind you, first of all, and everyone out there, about the 1939 American film Ninotchka, which starred Greta Garbo as the titular character and used the phrase Garbo laughs in promotional materials. So, first off, just wanted to remind you of that. Now, I did want to also bring up this. I was driving around, and I saw a little decal in the back of a window of a vehicle in front of me, and it was kind of small up in the corner, but it said this. It said, "It's okay. Let me make sure I get this right. It said, "It's okay. I have a cone." With a little image of what looked to be like a classic orange.
Yes, what's known as a
cone.
pylon sometimes.
You could call it a pylon, but it is
if you're a Canuck.
Yes.
Like those crazy kids in the hall with their toques.
But it was the shape, of course, of the classic orange traffic cone.
Tell me about it.
That you would sometimes even have at gym class, maybe in between standing on one leg for minutes.
That would be interesting if we could do that on the pod, but maybe another time. Or maybe even if it's just, hey, you got to carry this egg on a spoon. When you get to the orange cone,
Yes.
circle around it, come back,
Uh-huh.
put the egg on your partner's spoon, and I'm like,
At least buy me dinner first.
so like that.
Yeah.
So they had so their bumper sticker said, "It's okay."
It's okay. I have a cone.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask you and open it up to the Colin Mockery hotline 319 had whip 1 or 319 gad whip 1 for our Olafers. What are they talking about? What does that mean?
We should open like the O law firm,
Yeah.
and it's like
For all of our lawyers?
yeah, and then people go in there and there's a snowman in there.
Yeah, that'd be
So
awesome.
we don't have it in this studio. It's in Studio 8A, but we do have a little cone that says on it, it says a butt crack is not male cleavage.
Yes.
Sort of as like a warning to those that may think it is.
Yeah.
Just to remind you.
Just to remind you.
So like we do have a cone, but I guess I don't know if I would be necessarily, I feel like I need to at all times that I'm driving let people know that I have that.
That's true. I forgot that we did have that.
It's
So
okay.
guess we'll-
I have a cone. Was there anything under there
No.
that explains what it means? Like when you see the one that says my old car is NPR or whatever, and you're like, what? Have you seen these?
No.
Okay. It's like an NPR sanctioned license or bumper sticker that says, I think it says my old car is NPR or something. It
Which-
doesn't make any sense.
Oh, yeah. I don't get that.
It makes me mad every time I see it because I'm like not in on the NPR joke.
yeah.
These upper scallions are like me.
Or, well, I assume that, sometimes they have the little baby on board
Mhm.
Klingon. Hey, Klingon, that's like one of my friends from the Enterprise.
Which was actually about, surprisingly, Star Trek was, if you actually watch it, a lot about race relations and sort of, equal rights and these sorts of things that I don't think people actually think about when they watch stuff like that. But I kind of pick up on it a little bit more just because I think I'm attuned to.
Well, that's because you went to college and they indoctrinated you with their woke mind virus.
Yeah.
So, which only started happening within the last 5
My
or so
conservative
years.
parents told me not to go.
Uh-huh.
They said they're going to turn you wokeism. They said, stay here and we'll keep you conservative. And I said, well, aren't you, I guess, kind of doing what you're saying the college is going to do? And they say, don't question me, boy.
Mhm.
You're supposed to question everything.
Mhm.
And so I stayed home and I became what's known as a certified bumpkin.
Well, sometimes they have the baby on board.
Yeah.
thing, and people are like, "Why would you tell people that you have a baby in your car? They're gonna
Steal it?
shoot out your tires
Oh.
and come steal your baby and eat it right in front of you for the adrenochromes."
Yeah.
And so they stay young forever, like that guy that transfuses his son's blood into his blood so that he can look like a 70-year-old, 20-year-old.
I have the skin of a 40-year-old. I have the heart of a 20-year-old, and I've got the what's his other thing? He's like, I have the energy of a 40-year-old. And you're like, okay, you look 70.
You look sick.
You
need to
His
stop what
son
you're
is
doing.
sitting next to him who's kind of pale too, not because he's getting the same treatment,
No.
but because he's sucking the blood from his son
Yeah.
to pump through his veins. I think it's easier just to take the baby out of like the stroller or something.
Yeah,
I'm not
just-
driving around with like a way to
No.
like a chain to take people's tires out or something.
I think, yeah, it's like a Mad Max situation where they're like, "Get the baby. There's a baby on board."
Australia is crazy. Get that little baby.
There's a baby on board.
By the way, and also you want a baby that's out like being active.
Yeah.
That's the good adrenochromes. You don't want the pale one that's in
No,
the
the
car
fat
watching
baby in the back.
watching Monsters University in the back on the DVD player.
And suddenly I'm driving behind it. Now I'm watching Monsters University.
Yeah. And I didn't know that they made it through the yellow light because I'm still just cruising behind them. So all of a sudden I'm going through a red.
Yeah.
I'm in court trying to explain that. No, I was watching TV in the car in front of me.
And you see the like dump trucks and stuff, and it says like, "Do not follow into construction site." And you're like, "Yeah, who would ever do that?" Meanwhile, I followed a family home because I wanted to see Megamind.
Yeah.
I never saw the ending. Anyway, point is, some people say the baby on board sign is like, why would you tell people you have a baby on board? That's not safe. And then it came out, well, people have that sign so that if you're in an accident and your car is totaled and maybe someone is coming to help you, they see that you have a baby on board and they will go for the baby first.
I've never thought of that.
That's kind of the intent of the baby on board sign. So then, okay, well, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You want to, you're a hero for having a baby on board sign. So I'm thinking, okay, what is other than this person just being a freak, telling everyone they have a cone, although it is funny in a sort of non sequitur absurdist sort of way, it's okay, I have a cone. Maybe it's a reference to something.
It's kind of a Steve Martin, be oblong and have your knees removed.
Yeah.
It's sort of this sort of otherworldly, non sequitur, sort of like the things you would read in Cul-de-sac or something in the funnies.
Yeah.
Where it's just so absurd.
Yeah. Or
it's okay, I have a cone.
Is it a reference to something, or is it like maybe like it's okay, I'm just the limo driver? Something like that. Where they misquoted a movie or something. Now, it could be any of those things. Or I'm thinking utilitarian way. Is it if you're pulled off to the side and someone sees that your car broke down, they start to pull over to help you, but they see that you do have a traffic cone on your person, so they just drive right by you because it is okay, I have a cone. What do you think it means?
I can also think, but this could also be confusing because like someone's pulled over, they need help, but their bumper sticker says, it's okay, I have a cone. So you do drive by, but maybe they don't. At that moment, what they need is not a cone, but like medical assistance.
Yeah.
So it could cause people to drive by. Maybe it's so if you're pulled over to the side of the road and you have a flat tire, they kind of pull up in front of you.
Yeah.
And you go, this person's
they're gonna jump.
They're gonna little bill me.
Yeah.
You see that it's okay. It's okay. I have a cone. So you go, okay, they're stopping not to harm, right?
Right.
They are like a doctor. They shall do no harm, right? They are Google, do not be evil. They're going to pull out their little cone for me. They get out to get their cone. Another driver takes their door off. It just any situation you're stuck in is a nightmare in life.
Doesn't quite.
I'm not sure. It's okay. I have a cone.
I think it must be some type of inside joke or.
It's probably like a Doctor Who thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like the bad wolf. There's a Dalek or whatever.
Yeah.
It says exterminate, and then parentheses says it's okay. I have a cone.
It's probably just one of these freaks that go to a convention for a TV show for like a whole weekend.
That's solely for one TV show.
Yeah.
It was on 10 years ago.
And not even on like regular TV. Just
No.
like a cable channel that's kind of obscure and that people use mostly as a punchline now.
Yeah. I don't know.
One
Those
of these
people are
freaks.
something else.
Yeah.
Speaking of freaks like that, speaking of freaks like you, sorry, I just keep going back to this cone thing. I guess I could look it up.
You want to know, don't you?
I do want to know.
Callers, if you're out there and if you have any idea, please call us on the Call and Mockery hotline 319-HADWHIP-1 or 319-GADWHIP-1 or 319-ISIS-1. Now, do you have any topics burning a hole in your little pants?
Why, do you have something?
I have something else I could bring up.
I was going to say there's these situations like going to a TV show, convention, where it's sort of these weirdos. Or if you were to say go to a movie in the theater on opening night that is a concert film for a band.
Oh yeah.
And the person next to you brings a stuffed rat that they are dancing with and singing to, and everyone there is kind of dressed weird. It's sort of like that. And you go, it's again, not a huge band, sort of maybe fits a certain demographic of person.
Yeah, kind of a niche
it's
carve out.
kind of a weird person. I realized hypothetically, if I were to come home from one of those things and then the other thing we talked about, I said, maybe I'm weird.
Yeah. I'm one of them, but yet I scoff at them.
I was also told that someone was made privy to the fact that I went to see all of the Lord of the Rings movies in theater, and this person was someone that has read all the books and loves the movies and stuff, and they went, yeah, I would not do that. I went, okay, so hypothetically I'm falling into the category of I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Right? One of us. We can all remember from the movie Freaks about the carnival freaks, the short freak, the bearded freak, the tattooed freak, which didn't always seem like the tattooed one is sort of like, that's on you.
Yeah.
Like the bearded freak, you could say, yeah, hormones, you
Yeah.
freak.
Must be hard. But you can shave.
Right. Or you're half mermaid. Like, okay, then take a person, cut the bottom off, and there's always a solution.
Yeah, there's a
But
solve.
the tattooed guy was kind of like, but you did that.
Yeah.
You're looking for attention.
Yeah.
You're not the little short freak, right? You're not Pinhead from American Freak Show.
Uh-huh.
The show American Freak Show.
Yeah.
You're
I
not
know.
Pinhead Freak. Who actually in real life, goodness gracious.
You're like, I'm so glad I spent $300 to go to this convention for the whole weekend so I could get the Pinhead girl's real photo
Yeah.
autographed. You
That's
guys following
fun.
any of this?
It's a little inside baseball, which is a phrase I used at a meeting today. And the two people that I was talking to gave me a look of complete and utter confusion. I was like, not to get too inside baseball, but what we could do. And they're just like, and I was like, I thought it was a phrase people said more, I guess.
I think it is. I hear it all the time.
I hear it too, but then I was like, and then as I'm finishing talking to them, I'm like thinking in my head,
Yeah.
so where have I heard this?
Yeah.
And then I was like, I feel like people in the industry say it. They go, this is kind of insider baseball, but Studio 8H is actually where they film Colin Mockery.
Yeah.
And so as they start answering me, I picked up my phone and was Googling inside baseball and trying to figure out where that came from. And I was right to have used it.
Yeah.
It was completely within my area of expertise to use that. And
Baseball.
So, yeah. You've got this guy that hit a perfect, I think it was like a 700 or 700%, or he had like 100, or his at homes were like 0.6.
Wow. That's really high for those.
But yeah, so that movie I went to.
You want to tell the people about it?
I think it's the wrong show for that.
Okay.
But I went to the Ghost right here, right now.
Okay.
I'm doing this as a little, what do you call that? An insidious ad for our other show.
Yeah.
If you want to hear us talk about music, listen to our other podcast, Earbuds. But we ain't talking about none of that here.
No.
But the person did dance with their rat. And so
awesome.
I had some fun. I had an empty seat next to me for Landon, who could not be bothered to show up.
Yeah.
So I put my big popcorn there and had my own fun, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Sat on my hand, gave myself a stranger. So that was a movie I went and saw.
That's good.
There's another movie I saw.
But you can't remember
Can't
anything
remember what
about
it was. I did watch all 3 of the Mad Max films, though.
Oh.
Which I think you brought up earlier.
Yeah.
But we talked about with Furiosa and the other one, Fury Road. A lot of fury. Sensing a theme.
Why are you so mad?
So I went back and watched I'm Max. I went back and watched the original 3 Mad Max films. I got to say something about Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I think he's lying about his age.
Oh.
By the first one, you go, okay, I guess he's young.
I think that's the most egregious thing he's ever done.
Yeah.
So the first one, he's young.
You go, okay, this is the youngest I've ever seen this man.
Yeah.
But then you watch the second one, and I'm like, this is a guy that's like 38. And he's like 26. It doesn't make any sense. Because I'm like,
it's Australia.
do I look 100 years old to people? Because by the third one, I'm like, he is in his 40s, and he's 30.
Mm.
I think he's lying about his age.
That's just old time stuff, though. Everyone looked old back then.
It's crazy because he's like so in shape.
Uh-huh.
Like he looks like he's got the body of a 40-year-old, the mind of a 30-year-old, the heart of a 20-year-old.
He looks like someone he's in the top 20 under 40 that look like they're in their 30s, but up close look like they in their 40s, but up close look like they in their 20s.
Exactly. It doesn't make sense go watch these movies and tell me the guy's not like in his mid to late 30s.
I just think
he's got the gray hair could be added. I'll give you that. But it's not even that. It's the bone structure. It's the weatheredness of his anti-Semitic face. It's just everything going on. His muscles, his pecs. I go, that's a man baby.
Is he good at acting in them?
Yeah. He's actually not doing that much. Is what's funny about them is that it's like they're all about him. Mm-hmm. But then he kind of just shows up in a place and he's like, I'll need to get in there. There's gas in there. Mm-hmm. And then Tina Turner or whatever is like, no, you don't. This is Thunderdome. And she goes, this is Master Blaster. The small one's Master and the big one's Blaster. And you're like, yeah, he did get weird. The first one I mentioned before was sort of like, I was like, okay, whatever. Mm-hmm. Then by the second one, you see kind of he is a little freak. And then by the third one, he's a super freaky, super freaky. No match for the new ones, obviously, but they are fun and you get to see Mel doing some action.
Have you ever seen the Lethal Weapon movies?
I'm gonna just say no, just because I haven't seen them, like intentionally all the way through. Sure. Like it took me a while to see Die Hard, the first one, in earnest,
because you don't really like good movies,
right? Well, I just get sick of people.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna tell me Die Hard's this, and I go, I watched it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's like I don't want to watch it because then someone's gonna know I watched it around Christmas, and I'm gonna have to have this stupid discussion with people. So you think it's a Christmas movie, and I go So there's nothing else to talk about these people's Christmas parties. It is pretty good that you brought that up. You're the first person to think about it.
Yeah,
their one brain cell sliding off their skillet. I mean, just come on.
I'm sure we've talked about this before, but yes.
But I do need to watch the Lethal Weapon films. You've said you like them. I know someone else that really loves them and likes to talk about them a lot. And so and I think you guys would get along.
Who?
And I will watch them in earnest.
Who are you talking to?
Briggs!
Yeah, they're just fun. They're
I'll
just
tell you
fun
later.
Little films. Oh, okay.
It's Inside Baseball.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'd seen them when I was younger, and I just need to come back around to it. Because I got to be honest, I like action movies.
Yeah.
That's why I like these Mad Maxers. And these, by the way, guys just chained to the front of cars, speeding down. Like, no, these were made in a time when you could do anything. It looks so crazy that it wasn't illegal to do what they're doing. Like, if a guy is chained to a pole to the front of a car with spikes coming up at them, if there's an accident on set, I just hate to think what would happen. We'd have another Twilight Zone on our hands. But whatever, that guy's walking around.
Yeah, it'd still be fine, probably.
He's like, yeah, a couple of them.
What do you want me to say? A couple of them died.
I still go line up to go to. Well, hypothetically, people go line up at these conventions that have something to do with this guy. You know, I don't know. I just kind of wait for the tide to gain. What do you want to talk about?
Here's the thing. As you may know, I was away on business over the weekend. And when you're in a different place, you sleep bad the first night. That first night on a new bed, you're like, this ain't my bed.
I got a new bed.
And it's hard to sleep. Also, you're in a new place. You're around people you might not know. Mm-hmm. In this case, I was in a stranger's house. Mm-hmm. Very nice, very sweet people. Took great care of me. Okay?
Doesn't matter. You still strange.
But at this point, I hadn't really thought about that.
I haven't thought about it.
I didn't think about that aspect. But so the first night.
So not at one point at that you didn't go, I'm a strange man in a strange land.
Yeah.
You didn't have that thought yet.
I'm lying to say that I did, but I didn't.
Okay. Okay, go on. Yeah, okay. Right, what you just said. Go on.
That's him, right?
Cheers.
Forget it. No, but then I was also doing stuff all day that was making me tired.
Right.
You don't sleep at night. You're working hard all day. Sleep deprived, dehydrated, all this stuff, and then you go back to the strange bed in the strange land, and you go to sleep. Now, this is what I really want to get to. I fell asleep, and I was sleeping pretty dang good that second night.
Yeah,
because I was so tired, and I was finally able to sleep after a long, long day.
And you'd done a good day's work that day. You said, I deserve sleep.
Yeah, and your body finally says, rest.
Mm-hmm.
It is time to rest.
Do you sleep sort of like Gandalf with your eyes open?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to get to. I had a dream. It wasn't even scary, but it was a nightmare. But it wasn't even scary, but it had a moment where I woke up. I woke up and then had the little disorienting thing of like, I'm not in my bed and I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like looking around, and then in that moment I was like, I don't even know these people. They could be doing something to me. I just all of like a flood of the worst thoughts ever just came rushing through my head just because of this dream. Now I'll kind of tell you what the dream is, but I know that that's boring. But
yeah, we should just say off the bat, I don't want to hear about your dream because it's not you coming up. It's like no. AI.
Yeah,
I made an AI picture and it's a. Well, I gotta tread lightly here.
No, anyone doing that is.
But it's like it's a washing machine and it has arms but the arms are like flesh but become the metal and you're like, great, I don't care.
Yeah, Clive Barker came up with that 50 years ago.
50 years ago, and also he made it sexy. If you can make a sexy washing machine, hello there. Grrr. Oh, sexy washing machine. This is the guy that was on Bill Maher. Yeah. I feel like our show, you got to start listening from the beginning because there's some continuity that you need to keep up with. Who is that? What voice is this that I'm doing? Is that Howard Stern?
Yeah, kind of.
He made it sexy.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Robin, you ever read Clive Barker?
Okay, so this dream I was having, it was pretty normal, but I kept seeing this image. There would be like a poster on the wall of a lady who kind of had a strange, distorted face, like her eyes. It's like when you first learn Photoshop and you just flip people's eyes upside down.
I've never would have done that.
And maybe flip their mouth upside down, and it just looks uncanny.
Yeah.
So I kept seeing this picture within the dream of this lady with her features upside down and kind of a strange face, and she was next to and pulling a hospital bed with a lady who had a similarly strange face.
Okay.
And it was just I didn't think anything of it until
So you were just like,
it was just in the dream, like as a background thing.
Where
Like-
are you, by the way? Do you know? Or it's just sort of like,
I'm in my apartment building.
Okay.
In the dream, I live in an apartment.
oh, but it makes sense in your head.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're like, I'm in my apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm in my apartment building.
People are stupid.
I see the poster on the wall, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Something about it on the news, but I'm not, it's just on in the background. These are all little building blocks that my mind is giving me, but I'm not thinking of until there's a knock on my door.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to my apartment door and I open it and I see the ladies. I see the lady with her head, her features upside down, with her friend in the hospital bed, and she's pulling it and she's saying, "We just need help, but we have to get in." And she's trying to get in my apartment door. And I'm saying, no, you can't come in here. And I start closing the door on her. And that's all I remember. And that's when I woke up in a panic. And basically, I wanted to ask, that ever happened to you? Where it's not really a nightmare, but it's just like, it's something that's so visceral that when you wake up, it makes you feel bad. It's a night terror, almost.
I had one that tricked me.
Whoa.
I was in bed as one is sleeping, and I woke up and I was like, I woke up and it was nighttime, and I went to my parents' room I got out of bed and went to my parents' room, and they weren't there. And I was like, where are they? And I couldn't find them. My brother wasn't home. I go and look, and I believe the car, this is when I was young, so I think we maybe shared a bedroom, my brother and I, at this point. So he wasn't in his bed. I get out of bed, go, they're not in their bed, but their cars are there. And I'm like, all their cars are here, but no one's home, and I'm home by myself at night. I'm like, where did everyone go? And it's just sort of weird. So I'm like, why am I home alone? I can't find anyone. I don't know what to do. And then all of a sudden I woke up. So I was like, that was a dream. I woke up, like my dream was I woke up and went to my parents' room and they're gone. So I woke up from that and I was like, that was weird. Because it was like, everything's the same. So I got up to go check because I was like, I got to go check on my parents. I go into their room. I see my brother's in his bed. I go check on them, and they are monsters. There are monsters in there. And then I woke up a third time.
Oh my God, this is like in a movie.
And I laid there, and I was just like, because I thought I was going to be stuck in that forever.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what the hell was that? I woke up again in the dream, and then they're like screwed up, just weird. Like there's just weird things in their bed. It's not them. It's not like crazy monsters, but it's just like, those aren't my parents.
Right.
What's happening? So I woke up a third time, and I just laid there and was like, and I think maybe eventually I got up or something, or it was like morning at that point.
Yeah.
But I was just like,
God.
couldn't get out of bed. It's never happened to me again. It was just this very strange.
Whenever that happens in a movie, I say, no,
Yeah.
that's not real.
Yeah.
But every time it happens in a movie for you probably are like,
No, because I understand the difference between art and humanity.
oh.
And I spit on things like that in movies, right? Because I go, that's not how that really happened.
That's crazy.
But it is sort of like, I do see that sometimes. I go, yeah, that has happened to me. But they don't utilize that enough, because you get sort of that initial, oh, it was just a dream.
Mhm.
And then they turn, and then they get the second one where their wife is like, and then they wake up another time and they're like, and then their wife's like, what's wrong, baby? Come back to bed. And like, and then
it should just be a full movie of that. It just keeps happening until finally they wake up and they're a child. And
they've had I heard this story, by the way. Should I tell this?
I just came up with it.
This guy,
Uh-huh.
he was, oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember, but this guy, it's not even funny. It's not even funny.
Can I tell you one dream I had when I was a kid?
Tell me one dream.
And I swear this is true. I was dreaming that I was going up, 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 up in a hot air balloon. And then it was one of those where you jump for no reason and you feel like you're falling. And then finally I landed and I woke up and I was turned around in my bed. My head was down where my feet go and my feet were up on my pillow like I had fallen back into my bed. It's true.
What happened?
I fell.
I think you did.
I think it
you
worked.
levitated.
Oh,
That's
my
true.
goodness. Tell me, what's happened to your friend?
Okay, so what happened to my friend, which we'll just call this guy. This guy was
This happened to
he
him.
went to college. When he was in college, he wanted to date this woman or whatever. It's a real story. The guy basically, the guy was in college. I think was going for there's going to be he was going out for a sport or something, and he fell and like injured himself, so he couldn't go out for the sport anymore. But what happened is there was this woman that he liked on campus that he started a conversation with. They ended up dating, and then eventually they got married. They had 2 kids together, sort of the perfect life. And he was sitting in his house one day, in this house that they had purchased with his wife and kids, and he noticed that he was looking at a lamp in the corner, and just the base of it was blurry. So he was like looking at the lamp, and just the base is blurry. So he kind of moved and like blinked and looked at it again, and then sort of walked up to it, and he looked around and everything else was in focus, and he turned back to the lamp and just the base of the lamp was blurry. And he couldn't figure out like what was happening. So he's like, why is this area blurry? And it just started to get more and more confusing. And as he was looking at it, the blur got like more intense. And all of a sudden he woke up and he was back in college, and he had injured himself going out for this sport. He had fell and hit his head and knocked himself out. And in his head, in the span of whatever, like the 5-10 minutes he was out, he had lived decades of his life and like had met this woman, married her at the college. It turns out this woman didn't exist because he met her after he fell. So he's like had a whole family that he then had to like mourn the existence of, because he's like, I lived an entire, like my life. I lived like 20, 30 years or whatever. Yeah. With these people, and none of them existed. So this wife he had, his kids, none of them existed.
That's sad.
Isn't that scary that can just happen to you?
What movie is that?
I think it was Muppets Go to Treasure Island. Or no, it's just Muppets Treasure Island. Sorry.
Okay. That's sad.
And by the way, I heard some guy tell that I never looked it up because he was like, the guy doesn't want to be, he kind of wants to live a normal life and not be bothered about it.
Someone just told you this
So
story?
I'm like, I don't trust. My friend told me about my other friend.
Oh. This was about you, wasn't it?
Yeah. I never actually went to a movie where someone danced with a rat.
It was because of that football scholarship.
And look at me now. Hey, the screen turned off. We can't see ourselves. Well, got anything?
You said, at some point you said, or whatever, which I noticed recently this weekend. There's one of the nice people that was taking care of me. She would be talking, and we do it all the time, where you say like, yeah, I was doing this and this or whatever, and then something happened or whatever. But she would say, my daughter is in volleyball and she has to pay all of this money or whatever, and it is just so much at this point because you pay for all of these activities or whatever, and you just don't even get to be coached or whatever. I found it endearing.
You did. So it wasn't a sort of vocal tick where you want to Bart Simpson strangle.
No, every time she did it, it felt like a little Easter egg. Like she heard all of her grandchildren and children say it, and she's just trying it on.
Yeah.
But it's become part of her vernacular now. But it still doesn't quite sound right because she's a proper older lady.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just cute.
So what do you think because kids these days, I mean, our vernacular, I said our vernacular is changing so rapidly sometimes. What's the next thing she gonna like? Is she gonna be my kid is in, or my granddaughter? My kid?
Either way.
My kid is in volleyball or bougie, and they want to.
Yeah, she might say that, but that doesn't really make as much sense.
Well, so you know, there's so many phrases these days.
Yeah.
I mean, the mind expands to try and catch one right now, and then it shrinks back down to the size of my head without nothing in its net. It's kind of nothing but net in there.
Yeah, going back to my dream of the two girls.
Okay, let's isolate that from the rest of the episode.
It was just one of those moments where you like,
girls.
It was nothing until they opened the door, or I opened the door to them, and could just sense the most vile evil I've ever sensed.
Go back to the fact that you then woke up, gasp, realize you're around all these people you don't know, and then you became a paranoid schizophrenic.
Yeah.
Where you said any of these people could be doing anything to me.
Well, more so just like, that's what I mean. In the moment when I opened the door and immediately realized this is the most vile evil I could ever sense, and I was said, no, you cannot come in here, to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then I woke up, I realized true evil does exist.
Mm.
And it just conjured itself in my brain while I was asleep. What's to say that true evil does not exist in this home where I lay my filthy little head for these next 3 nights? Strangers, I have no idea what they do. I have no idea who they are. They have no idea who I am. They welcome me into their home.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do that?
It is a strange situation then to find yourself in and feel that you are not in any way safe.
Mostly just because of the extreme discombobulation of waking up and, you know, you're already out of your mind because of how exhausted you are.
Mm-hmm.
And then this vile presence realizes itself before you in your own mind.
I imagine that you at Woodstock would be insufferable.
Yeah, I imagine being at Woodstock would be insufferable.
Is that why you burned the barn down this week? Hey, if you're like, that's a good, is that a real thing? That's a good reference. I mean, look, this is just the stuff we do on Colin Mockery. We're on top of everything, but we might serve you a little dose of information like this. Mm-hmm. True evil does exist. The evilest of all isn't it the mundanity of evil that is the most insidious? Mm-hmm. It's sort of a Patrick Wilson-esque. I watched a video the other day that was Patrick Wilson's net worth by year that someone had put together, and it was like, when I see you again.
What's he up to?
Well, interesting enough, you go, it's like 1989. He's already got 3 million somehow, and you go, pretty good. He's just doing plays. So I go,
dang,
is he sitting on some sort of nest egg? Next year, you see 4 million, and they show each clip for about like too long, where it's like 15 seconds. Yeah, so I'm just watching. Then you get to like 2000, let's say 8. He's got like 20 million. You go, okay, good for you. Then they go 2009, and he's down to, he lost. He's like 12 million.
He hit a high point at some point.
He did, but now somehow, I don't know if it's toy residuals from the Conjuring universe or whatever it is, but now he's up there. He's at a high.
That's good.
And
he's directing now. I'm sure he gets a little more for that.
He does. I'm sure he does.
You know when celebrities are on like podcasts and stuff and they bring up your net worth?
Yeah.
And they're like, ugh, you can't look at that stuff. Those things are never accurate. They're lying, right?
I think they are, because, or else they're like, What else are they supposed to say? Yeah, I do have $400 million.
Yeah, I am worth more money than a state has.
Because it's like, I know, and look, do we ever really know anyone, the true nature of evil, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah.
But it's like, I know where your house is. I know where your kids sleep. Like there are things I know about certain celebrities, right? And it's like you probably do. Even if it's just net worth being your assets.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you have whatever. Your house poor.
Yeah. But
your house was $1 million. Therefore, your net worth is $1 million. I award you no points. And
God have
mercy. So, but I think they are lying because it's that we hide our wealth in this country, right? Like I always say, I don't have any money.
Even like certain comedy people, when they bring it up as kind of a comedy conceit, and they're like, well, I looked up your net worth. And they're like, no, that's not. But then on other episodes, they're like talking about how they have a pool and a nanny and all this stuff. You're like, well, yeah.
That's what I mean. I know
You're
what
rich.
Scott Aukerman's house looks like.
Yeah.
And I go, I bet you have a cool $1 million. And that's fine.
At least.
If you've worked for
$1
your
million,
money.
that's probably way less.
She would have all the money. That's probably what they mean by it's off. It's like they're not counting all this.
Yeah.
These galleons
That's
that I
way
have
off.
in my Gringotts bank account. I wish my net worth was online. But that's the thing with Patrick Wilson is like I can't even tell where they're getting this information from.
Yeah.
He did do a song with a band that makes you dance with a rat recently, so and he sings.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's a true Renaissance man. Patrick Wilson, if you're listening to this, we don't care what your net worth is. We just want to hang.
Yeah.
Maybe take down a couple of Michelob Ultras, maybe.
Yeah. And talk about that girls episode that you were in.
Did someone say girls?
The other thing of that dream with the two girls, the one in the hospital bed, the one with the upside down face,
I know the one.
is I didn't realize I was setting little what we call foreshadowing.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I opened the door and saw them, I had a Saw moment where it was dun dun dun,
Yeah.
dun dun, and it was replaying the flashbacks almost. I was like, oh, from the poster, from the TV, I saw them. These are, and then that also led into me knowing evil.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can get out of. You can't come in here.
I'm surprised you could talk. Usually in a dream, I can't talk and I can't run.
Yeah.
I'm like trying to yell at them. I'm like, and I try to run. And it's like, it's like Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes when they're trying to make it look like they're running through water. The Weta people. And they said, tie sandbags to your legs. It's like that.
I guess my point is even in my state of unconscious, I am a generational talent at storytelling.
And I think we can all second that and third that. And who's giving that third? Who's your third?
Rosie O'Donnell.
Give us one for the road.
Where's the best place to grow flowers in school?
Hold on. The best place to grow flowers in school. Do this along with me at home, folks. The best place to grow flowers in school. You could, of course, say greenhouse, but that's basically a technical answer.
Yeah, it's
so
a joke.
Right. So you're looking for, and these are, what's the name of this book?
Kids are punny too.
Yeah, and that in itself is a pun. So the best place to grow flowers in a school would be, I mean, as an example, why don't you give us the answer?
The kindergarten.
Bye guys. Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.